Not exactly an offensive showcase here in the first half in Chicago. Jimmy Butler, who has 15 straight games of 20 points or more, scoreless, but with Taj Gibson among those chipping in. Chicago leads San Antonio 45-32. The Spurs, who are unbeaten on the road, trying to go to 14-0 away from home, shoot 31% in the first half, managed just 32 points. American Express halftime report, Ernie Johnson with Charles and Kenny and Shaq. So Chicago's up 13. Rajon Rondo making news this week because he was suspended for a game. He and Jim Boylan, one of the Chicago assistant coaches, got into it, and Rondo was suspended a game. What do you make of his fit in Chicago?
Well, I think I would say it's difficult for anyone not to like a guy who doesn't want to shoot the basketball, that really are looking for other people. I think that one thing that, Rondo's been one of my favorite players for a long time. But I think...
Because you haven't coached him.
No, great point, possibly. But, there's a thin line between love and hate. And there's a thin line between leadership and abandonment. And I think Rondo doesn't realize the line at times between leading a team and abandoning a team. And a lot of times you have to, and this is funny, because I've been talking about this for a week, just personally, you have to have emotion without being emotional. Like, I don't know if Rondo understands how to be show emotion and not be emotional. And what that does, it's a detriment to the team when he does that. But his basketball skill and his mindset and his IQ are so high that you still have to play him. But what he doesn't understand is a lot of times is the chemistry of the others. And the fact, and we have the Area 21 with KG, so I know later on we can bring him into this conversation. But because he had guys like KG, Paul Pierce, and Ray Allen, guys who are so strong-minded that their will can't be broken, that it didn't matter. But it matters on teams like this and teams like Sacramento when he was in Sacramento.
He needs a strong coach. And Fred Harburg is a good coach, but he's not a strong personality. Rondo needs a guy. He did this. Remember last year he quit on the Mavericks because he get into it with Rick Carlisle. It takes a special coach to handle a guy like Rondo. And so to answer your question, this is not a good mix for him in Chicago.
So why? Okay, what would be a good mix?
Well, at this stage of his career, there's no good mix because at some point you are who you are. And Rondo, he's doing the same thing he did 10 years ago.
Yeah, I think he...
Yeah. But you guys are talking like Rondo's a problem child and a bad guy. He's not a bad guy. I agree with you. He needs a good coach. Doc Rivers didn't play any of that. When I was with him in Boston, he is a leader. He is a floor general. He's very emotional. This happens. I've had arguments with the great Tex Winners. I've had arguments with the great...
Have you had arguments to the point that get you suspended?
Well, no, but
that's the difference.
But I'm just saying, when you're passionate and you have emotions in the game, this happens. Coach says something that you wouldn't slide on defense. Forget you didn't call my play. It happens. It happened. Move on. But Rondo's not a bad guy.
No, we didn't say he's a bad guy.
Okay.
Listen, the bottom line is he is who he is now, Ernie. Like I say, Doc Rivers and those guys, Kenny mentioned, they can handle his personality. He's not been, and even when they were winning in Boston, there was always still problems. And now he's been on different teams. He don't have strong veteran leadership. Didn't have strong veteran leadership, and well, he had it in Dallas. He just didn't want to deal with it. He didn't have it in Sacramento, and now on the back end of his career, he's still doing stuff he did 8, 9, 10 years ago.
In the time we got left, let's jump on San Antonio. LaMarcus Aldridge.
Well, he's not having a good game, so I don't want to bash him. They're 18-4, 13-0 on the road. But my question is, who's going to be the next Tim Duncan? Because, they are, favored to win the championship, but he's going to have to be Duncan like if they want to win the championship. That's his spot right there. He can always hit that. But he's going to have to be a little bit more consistent. He's going to have to get more rebounds. And he's going to have to finish plays like this. Again, these guys are 18-4, 13-0.
What's the number you're looking from him every night?
Well, you know what? In Portland, he averaged 19.5. In San Antonio, he's averaging 18. I just need him to be more consistent. Remember that game we watched where he had 40 points 2 games in a row?
Yeah, against
when they get to the playoffs, if he plays like that, San Antonio Spurs will win the championship.
Well, he's going to have to play like that.
Yes, they will win
because you're not going to beat the Golden State Warriors on the perimeter. That's like last night when I was watching them play the Clippers. If you don't outscore the Warriors in the paint, you're never going to beat them.
Love them Warriors, don't you?
Hate them.
He's starting to warm. He's starting to warm.
Underdog, me and you.
Warriors,
Underdog, me and you tonight.
We're going to go to a Warriors
Like people can't do that. I do that all the time.